Hi everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I want to show you some Valentine earring ideas. I hope you enjoy it. For the first design, I thought of tiny teddy bears holding even tinier hearts. I want them to be small enough so I can make them as stud earrings. For this, I first cut two pairs of circles, one pair bigger and one pair smaller. Then I attached them together to have the base for my teddies. This way my teddies will be roughly the same size with flat backs. Then I make some balls the same size as the bases to build some volume on top of my base. Then I combine the upper layer with the base layer using my needle tool. Then I start making scratches on the teddies with tip of the needle tool. This way the teddy will appear fluffy. I cut some small circles to make some tiny balls for hands and legs. Then I cut even smaller circles to use for the ears. With my dotting tool, I make two dents on each face to put the eyes in later on. Then I make a ball and cut it in half and put each half on each face to complete the face. Finally, I make the eyes and the nose and put them in. For the hearts, I cut two small circles and then make a dent on the top and shape it like a heart a little bit and put it on the teddies. For the second design, I used the arc cutter on my white clay. I have some funny design in mind, so I make some black ropes using my extruder. Then I make a funny character using the ropes on the clay. These characters are very simple to make, so anyone can do this. For the hand part, I cut a little piece from the body so that I can fit the hand and don't have any bumps from overlapping the lines. Because you are working with dark clay, it most probably will stain on the white clay, but you can easily clean those stains using a wet wipe or a Q-tip with some rubbing alcohol. Then I roll the rope further until it's very thin, and I put it in his hands as a balloon rope. For the hearts, I want to make some heart-shaped balloons. I flatten a piece of red clay, pretty thick, and then put a plastic bag on top. Then I use my heart-shaped cutter to cut 2 tiny hearts. Using a plastic bag, that piece of plastic makes the edges soft and bent and more balloon shape. I finally cut 2 pretty bigger hearts to use as the upper parts of the earring. I make all the holes using a tiny round cutter before I bake the clay. But you can easily do that after baking if you have some sort of drill, but I don't, so I make all of them before I cure the clay. For the next design, I want to make the one and only Enchanted rose from Beauty and the Beast. So I'm using a Fimo number 306, which has crystal effect, like ice effect. I flatten it and cut 2 arc shapes using my arc cutter, and one round one that I will use for the next design, so ignore that one. I will just set it aside. Then I use 2 red colors, one number 24 and the other 26. You can easily mix one red that you have with white or black color to just make it a little bit different than the one that you have. I want one lighter and one darker red. I flatten out the darker red pretty thin and then put a layer of the lighter red on top. Then I cut some circles using my round cutter. Now I take each circle and put it in palm of my hand with the lighter shade face up. Then I use my dotting tool with pretty big head to curl it. This way I'll have a little flower petal. Now put the petals together to make the rose. The reason I used 2 shades of red is to put some contrast to the flowers, so that the edges will be lighter and the backs will be darker. I use another round cutter to make the leaves. I use some of these leaves as sepals for the flowers and make the leaves and the stems from the rest. As the final magic touch, I use mica powder and a very fine head brush to make my rose all magical. I just draw some lines with mica powder around my rose and also touch up the tip of the flower petals and the leaves with mica powder. This way we have a beautiful magical shine that going around and on the flower. For the next design, I cut 2 circles from Fimo 306 to use for the snow globe. For the base, I use a piece of flattened brown clay. Then I use my needle tool to draw some lines and make it all woody. Then I use gold mica powder to bring out the lines even more. After that, I used a wet wipe to just clean the excess powder on the wood. Then I used the same cutter that I used for the globe itself to have the same shapes, and we'll add them to the bottom of the globes as the base. I make another heart using the plastic technique that I just talked about. You can clean the edges using a Q-tip with rubbing alcohol. For the snow, I use mica powder with dotting tool to make some snow. I put the snow a little bit denser in the bottom of the globe and a little bit more apart at the top. I make another teddy bear for the other snow globe with a heart balloon. I think that fits the vibe. For the flower bouquet design, I flattened a piece of brown clay. Then I use the pattern on my tool to add some pattern and texture on the clay. I cut out the shape I think fit the design the best on a piece of baking sheet. As you can see, this is the design. I put it on the brown clay and cut the edges out. Then I put the pattern face down so I can put the flowers inside. I mix different amount of red clay, really tiny amount, but different, with white to have different shades of pink. Then I use them to make multi-shade flowers. I also use the red circles from the Enchanted rose design to make some roses as well. I add some leaves first, then I put the roses, then I roll some pretty dark green color to make the stems and put them separately in the bouquet. Then I wrap the bouquet. I make two pretty thin ropes wrapped together to make some interesting contrast and just tie them around the bouquet. For the last design, I used my heart-shaped cutters and deco confetti to decorate my pieces. I made a video before talking about all things that you can put on raw polymer clay. I link it down in the description box. In that video, I also talked about these confettis as well. Unfortunately, my phone, for some sort of unknown reason, stopped recording the part that I put little confetti hearts on my pieces, but I just used my finger to arrange them on the clay. Then I use some orange mica powder to make some contrast on the edges and make it more interesting. Then I put all my pieces to bake for 1 hour. After an hour, here are the results. So for my snow globe earrings, I decided to finish them off with 1 coat of UV resin so it looks like glass. I use T-Expert UV resin and the link is in the description if you're interested in buying. I broke a toothpick to put them in the holes to not clog them with resin, which sounded like a good idea at the time, but it didn't turn out very clean. I would do it differently if I wanted to do it again. Then I used UV light to cure the whole thing. I sanded and assembled the pieces, and here are the final results. I hope you like this video. I hope it gives you some inspiration for your Valentine pieces. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my future videos. Thank you for watching and have a great day.